Welcome, wanderer of the night. Before you drift off into dreams, let me tell you a secret. Inside you, there's a silent guardian working tirelessly even now. Stay with me till the end, and you'll discover just how your body protects you. Quietly, beautifully, endlessly. Close your eyes. Feel your breath, in and out. Now imagine deep within you a vast, shimmering universe. Tiny defenders, healers, and messengers working in perfect rhythm. This is your immune system, the orchestra of calm and protection playing through every heartbeat. Welcome, wanderer of the quiet hours. The world outside is still. The moon glows softly, touching your room with its silver calm. And as you breathe in and out, a quieter world awakens within you. Beneath your skin, beyond your thoughts, there is movement. Not the kind you can feel, but a rhythm, a pulse, a silent duty carried out by countless unseen lives. Your immune system, your guardian of calm, never sleeps. While your mind drifts and your eyelids rest, this guardian keeps watch. A loyal protector who never grows weary. It listens for the faintest signal, the softest tremor of imbalance. It knows your heartbeat. It knows your scent. It recognizes every cell that belongs to you, and every whisper of something that doesn't. Imagine it. Inside your bloodstream, rivers of life are flowing. Crimson tides carrying more than just oxygen. They carry sentinels, scouts, healers, tiny watchers that glide through your veins like silent stars in a midnight sky. Each heartbeat sends them drifting further, a patrol that never ends. They travel through the vast network of your body, searching, sensing, learning. They know the warmth of your muscles, the rhythm of your breath, the texture of your very being. Even now, as your body lies still, they move with purpose, slow, steady, serene. Their language isn't words but signals, gentle touches between cells, chemical whispers passed along invisible corridors. In the hush of night, they speak a single truth: you are safe. Deep in your bones, in the quiet chambers of your marrow, something beautiful is happening. There, in the soft darkness, new guardians are born, white blood cells, sculpted from your very essence. They emerge into the bloodstream like fresh snowflakes falling into a flowing river, delicate but determined. Each one carries a purpose. Some will hunt intruders. Some will heal wounds. Some will simply watch, recording every encounter in the book of your body's memory. If you could shrink down, smaller than a grain of dust, and drift inside your bloodstream right now, you'd see a universe in motion. Every drop a galaxy, every cell a glowing star. You'd see macrophages, large, gentle guardians, sweeping the current, gathering debris from old battles. You'd see T cells, the strategists, scanning, questioning, remembering. And in the distance, you'd see a single white blood cell glide past like a silent moon glowing faintly in the dark. That is your immune system, vast, wise, and alive. It never complains. It never stops. Even when you sleep, it moves with quiet determination, restoring balance, protecting your inner world. Somewhere in your lymph nodes, those tiny sanctuaries hidden beneath your jaw, your armpits, your chest, the council of cells meets. They exchange signals, stories, and memories. They discuss what was learned today, what intruders were faced, what dangers were repelled, what peace was restored. It's like a nightly debrief happening quietly as you dream. Outside, the world may seem still, but within, there is no night. There is only the eternal twilight of vigilance, soft, unbroken, serene. Your immune system is not just a defense, it is awareness itself, a living intelligence that feels without thought, that responds without words. It senses your emotions. When you feel stress, it listens to the rising tide of hormones and adjusts its rhythm to calm you. When you laugh, it strengthens. When you rest, it repairs. Now imagine your body as a vast landscape under moonlight, veins like winding rivers, lymph nodes like lanterns glowing softly in the mist. Everywhere quiet motion, the hum of life beneath stillness. White blood cells float by like gentle clouds in a slow sky. They do not rush. They do not fight unless they must. They simply flow, patient, observant, eternal. In this silent motion lies the wisdom of balance. For your immune system knows that not all invaders are enemies, and not every battle is worth fighting. It chooses peace first. It chooses understanding. Only when true danger comes does it rise like a wave in moonlight, calm yet powerful, unstoppable yet graceful. So as your mind drifts toward sleep, know this: you are guarded. Within you, countless unseen protectors move in harmony, keeping you whole. They are ancient, precise, compassionate in their design. Every breath you take, every moment of rest, fuels their gentle watch. And though you sleep, they never will. They are the guardians of your night, the silent orchestra of your safety, the invisible heartbeat within your heartbeat. And as your body sinks deeper into rest, your immune system awakens. Not in noise, not in chaos, but in peace. It spreads through you like moonlight through a forest, touching every cell, whispering, "You are safe. You are healing. You are home." Somewhere deep inside you, the night continues. Your breathing is slow, steady, a rhythm older than thought. And within that rhythm, the patrol begins. Every heartbeat sends a quiet pulse through your veins, a gentle wave that carries with it the watchers of your inner world. They drift and turn, listening for anything that does not belong. In this silent journey, they are tireless. There are no footsteps, no noise, only movement, fluid, smooth, eternal. White blood cells, your microscopic guardians, travel through the bloodstream like monks through candlelit halls. They glide, pause, and listen. Their senses are extraordinary. They can detect a single whisper of danger in the vast ocean of your blood. And yet, most of the time, what they feel is peace. The warmth of your body, the calm pulse of your heart, the gentle rise and fall of your breath as you sleep. They know the familiar scent of your cells, the gentle signature that says, "This is me." Every muscle fiber, every organ, every tissue speaks this language of identity. Your immune system listens carefully and keeps a record. It knows you better than you know yourself. In the flowing river of your blood, thousands of cells drift past one another like lanterns in a slow-moving stream. Neutrophils lead the patrol, the swift responders, always alert, always ready. Behind them, monocytes move at a calmer pace, waiting to transform into macrophages, the great cleaners, the healers of wounds. Further still, lymphocytes float in thoughtful silence, the strategists, the thinkers of this cellular world. If you could see them, you'd notice how gracefully they move. There is no panic in their motion, no confusion. Only order, the deep intelligence of balance. Sometimes one cell meets another, a brief, wordless exchange of signals. A soft electric pulse passes between them. Everything's quiet here, and the patrol continues, even when danger does arise. A stray bacterium, a wandering virus. There is no chaos. There is precision. The first responder senses the intruder and releases a chemical beacon, like a flare in the dark. Within moments, reinforcements arrive, hundreds of cells converging silently surrounding the threat. They do not attack with anger. They move with purpose, calm and complete. A gentle cleansing begins. A threat is dissolved and peace returns. Through this entire process, you remain unaware. You lie still dreaming, perhaps of starlight or distant oceans. While within, an invisible patrol preserves your world. Each heartbeat fuels their motion. Each breath delivers the oxygen that keeps them alive. It is a dance between you and your protectors, a rhythm of trust, as old as life itself. Now, picture your veins as a vast network of glowing rivers. Each pulse sends a shimmer of light downstream, and within that current, your immune cells drift like tiny comets illuminating the path. They know where to go, where to pause, where to turn. It is not chaos, it is choreography. A ballad of biology performed in total darkness yet never missing a step. Sometimes the patrol reaches distant corners, the quiet tissues of your skin, the edges of your lungs, the pathways of your gut. They move gently, respectful of the spaces they enter. And when they find nothing amiss, they leave quietly, like a breeze moving through tall grass. Every cell plays its part. Every patrol has meaning. Even in stillness, there is movement. Even in sleep, there is life. Your immune system does not rest because life itself cannot rest. Every moment, something changes. A cell dies, another is born. A wound begins to heal. A thought sends ripples through your hormones. Your immune system listens to all of it, responding with delicate precision. When you breathe deeply, it slows down. When your heart races, it adapts. When you dream, it protects the peace of that dream. In ancient times, people spoke of guardian spirits, unseen protectors that watched over them through the night. They were right, in a way. Those guardians live inside you. Not of magic, but of molecules. Not of myth, but of life. They do not wield swords or shields. Their strength is gentler, the quiet correction of imbalance, the graceful restoration of harmony. And so, the silent patrol continues, night after night, heartbeat after heartbeat. Sometimes swift, sometimes slow, but always constant. They travel the endless corridors of your body, mapping every inch of the territory they defend. Every organ, every tissue, every cell, watched, known, protected. Outside, the moon may shift, the world may turn, but your inner guardians never falter. They march in silence, driven not by command but by devotion, the devotion of your very nature to preserve itself. You are not a single being, but a symphony of life, trillions of tiny presences, each fulfilling its quiet purpose. And at the heart of this symphony, the immune system conducts its orchestra, not loudly but gently, not in chaos but in calm. So as your dreams deepen and your body drifts farther into rest, remember the patrol that moves through you. 1 billion tiny sentinels, keeping the night pure. They will continue their journey until the dawn light touches your skin. They are your protectors, unseen, unending, unafraid. And while you dream, they walk. Inside you, the patrol continues. But now the silence begins to stir, not with noise, but with communication. 1,000 whispers move through the dark, like wind through tall grass. Your immune cells are speaking, not with words, not with sound, but with signals. Faint pulses of chemistry that travel farther than any voice. Each message is a spark, a molecule of meaning drifting from one cell to another. It is called cytokine signaling, a language written in light and touch. A single cell can send a signal to calm another, to awaken it, to summon help, or to say, softly, all is well. Imagine standing in a vast forest at night. You cannot see who else is there, but when one firefly flashes, others answer. A ripple of light travels through the trees, carrying information farther than sight. That is how your immune system speaks in the dark. T cells, B cells, macrophages, dendritic cells, each with its own accent, its own tone, its own wisdom. Some send warnings, others soothe. Some cry for reinforcements, others whisper lullabies of calm. Together, they maintain balance, harmony through dialogue. When a wound appears or when an intruder slips through your defenses, the whispers grow louder. But even then, there is no panic, only precision. Cytokines flare like distant lanterns, guiding cells to where they're needed most. Neutrophils respond first, swift and direct. Macrophages follow, steady and thoughtful. And T cells wait patiently for information before joining the scene. Each knows its role, each respects the flow. The whispers are what connect them all. The quiet pulse of unity. You might think of it as a network. Invisible threads connecting every part of you to every other. From your fingertips to your heart, from your lungs to your skin. Signals flow endlessly, telling your body what is happening, what must be healed, what must be protected. And yet, the beauty of it lies in the restraint. Your immune system knows when to act and when to simply watch. It speaks not to dominate, but to understand. If you could hear it, it might sound like a low hum, the quiet vibration of cooperation. Every cell listening, every cell responding, a harmony too soft for ears to catch. When you rest, this whisper network becomes even more powerful. Your brain releases hormones that soothe the inflammation, telling your immune system, stand down now. All is peaceful. And the cells obey, drifting into a state of quiet readiness. Not asleep, but serene. The messages that flow at night are gentle, not alarms, but lullabies. Signals that say, repair this tissue. Strengthen that barrier. Remember this intruder. Let go of what you no longer need. This is the wisdom of your immune system, that not every reaction is a battle. Sometimes it is an embrace. Sometimes the best way to protect is to rest. While you dream, your body holds counsel. Cells share memories, compare notes, refine strategies. They record what worked, what failed, and what can be improved. Your body is learning, even in sleep. There are cells called dendritic cells, messengers between worlds. They collect fragments of the outside, from the air you breathe, the food you eat, the dust that touches your skin. Then they carry those fragments inward, showing them to your T cells like teachers showing lessons to eager students. This, they say without words, is what we've seen. Remember it? Your immune system listens carefully. It learns. And once it knows, it never forgets. That is why when you face the same intruder again, your body reacts faster, calmer, wiser. It has learned the pattern, stored it in memory, and built the perfect response. Not panic, not war, but confidence. This silent learning happens through whispers, signals that move across time, across generations of cells. A mother cell teaching its daughters. A memory passed not through words, but through molecules. A story written in the language of life itself. Your immune system is not just a network of defense. It's a community of understanding. Every signal, every whisper, Every chemical phrase contributes to a dialogue that has never ended since the day you were born. It listens to the world. It listens to your thoughts. It listens to your emotions. When you are anxious, the whispers change. The tone shifts. The signals grow restless. But when you breathe deeply, when you rest, the network hums again in peace. It is a reminder that your health is not just the absence of harm, but the presence of harmony. That balance is not stillness. It is conversation. Inside you at this very moment, millions of these silent exchanges are happening. Cells are checking in, greeting one another, confirming all is well. Some drift past with nothing to report. Others deliver vital news. All are part of the same living language, the whisper network of your immune system. And you lying here in the quiet dark are the world they protect. They do not know your name. They do not see your face. But they know your scent, your rhythm, your warmth. They know that you are home. So they speak to one another softly, endlessly. Keep the peace. Protect the dream. Guard the silence. And through their whispers, your body remains whole. The whispers fade into silence, and in that silence healing begins. Your body, bathed in moonlight, surrenders to the rhythm of night. Every breath draws in calm. Every exhale lets go of what is no longer needed. You are resting, and while you rest, your immune system begins its quiet ceremony of repair. In the vast cathedral of your body, the healers awaken. They do not rush. They do not shout. They move like monks through candlelight, gentle and deliberate. Cells that fought through the day, the sentinels and soldiers, now step aside. Their replacements arrive, soft-handed and patient, their purpose not to defend, but to restore. Macrophages, the great caretakers, begin their sacred work. They glide through your tissues, seeking what no longer belongs: old cells, fragments, dust of battles long forgotten. With slow, sweeping motions, they gather and cleanse, turning chaos into clarity, turning decay into new beginnings. In your bloodstream, platelets drift like tiny artisans, mending the smallest tears in your vessels. Each one lands where it is needed most. A microscopic patch, a brushstroke of renewal. Meanwhile, in the marrow of your bones, creation never stops. New cells are born in quiet waves. Stem cells dividing, shaping, preparing to take their place in the vast ecosystem of you. Some will grow into defenders, some into healers, all into purpose. Your immune system never wastes time. Even in rest it works. But the night brings something special, a deeper permission to heal. As you sleep, your brain releases melatonin, the messenger of darkness. Its arrival tells your immune cells, the world outside is still. You may repair now. In response, the healers grow bolder. They move into the tissues, mending, building, balancing. It's a collaboration between the stars and your cells, between night and biology. The darkness doesn't just hide the world. It gives your body the space to become whole again. Your liver, too, joins the ritual, filtering, cleansing, turning toxins into stories of transformation. Your lungs rest, exchanging air in slower rhythms, allowing immune sentinels to wander between alveoli like gentle guardians of breath. Your skin, under the cool kiss of the night air, begins to rebuild. Tiny microtears from the day are sealed. Invisible damage from sunlight, stress, or touches quietly undone. Keratinocytes whisper to one another, "Row. Begin again?" Deep inside your microbiome, trillions of friendly organisms, sings its nocturnal song. They help digest, communicate, and balance. And your immune system listens to them too, learning which voices belong and which must be silenced with grace. This harmony of communication is what makes healing possible. No single cell works alone. Each knows its place in the night's design. As hormones shift and cortisol falls, your immune system finds its gentlest power. Inflammation, that daytime flame, fades into a soft ember. Tissues cool, nerves relax, blood pressure lowers. Every signal in your body whispers the same message. Peace now. We rebuild your body. Your temple of movement and thought is under sacred reconstruction. Walls are strengthened. Windows are cleaned. The lights of your cells glow a little brighter in the dark. Think of your body as a vast city at night. The daytime rush has ended. Now the quiet workers emerge, street sweepers, repair crews, caretakers, their footsteps echoing softly through empty streets. By dawn, everything will be ready again. The damage undone, the energy renewed. This is what your immune system does in the shadows. It restores order without asking for praise. It tends to every cell like a gardener tending flowers after a storm. And all of this happens as you sleep. You need do nothing, only surrender, only rest. The more you let go, the deeper your healers can travel. They move through muscle and marrow, through blood and bone, carrying with them the memory of balance. In your gut, new immune cells take form. In your lungs, old ones retire. In your skin, a new defense is woven for the coming day. And all the while, your brain watches quietly, guiding this orchestra of restoration. Even your dreams play a part. When you dream of peace, your heart rate softens, and the healers move faster. When you dream of warmth, your vessels open, allowing more oxygen to flow, more energy to mend what the day had worn thin. Your body listens to your mind, and your immune system listens to both. It knows the difference between fear and calm. It knows when to hold on and when to let go. All through the night, it keeps its promise. No matter what you've faced, no matter how heavy your day has been, your immune system works to bring you back to balance. It doesn't judge. It doesn't rest. It simply heals. And in that healing you find renewal, not just of the body, but of the soul that lives quietly inside it. The night passes. Dreams flow like rivers. And your immune system, tireless and tender, continues its quiet devotion to your survival. The night deepens. Outside, the world is silent, but within you, a story is being written. One that began long before you were born, and will continue for as long as you live. Your immune system is not just a guardian of the present. It is a keeper of memories. Every challenge you have faced, every cold, every fever, every wound, has left behind a whisper of wisdom. These whispers are written not in ink, but in the molecules and memories of your cells. They are the chronicles of your body's victories. When an invader once entered your bloodstream, a virus, a bacterium, a threat, your immune system learned its scent, its pattern, its rhythm. It built a memory of that encounter, a small, perfect copy stored within your cells. These cells, called memory B cells and memory T cells, are like librarians of protection, each holding a book that tells the story of one particular enemy. They wait quietly, sometimes for years, sometimes for decades, until the same intruder tries to return. And when it does, they open their books, read the pattern, and respond in an instant. This is how you gain immunity, not by walls of stone, but by the soft intelligence of remembrance. Your immune system learns, adapts, evolves. Every illness you survive becomes part of your wisdom. Every recovery is a teacher. Every fever a lesson. Every shiver a paragraph in the story of you. Imagine a great library inside you, vast and endless, built from the architecture of your cells. Each shelf holds volumes of experience, each page a record of triumph. In the quiet of night, the librarians wander the aisles, checking, updating, refining what they've learned. The air hums softly with memory. If you could walk through this inner library, you'd see glowing books made of light and pattern. Some bright and recent, lessons learned just days ago. Others dim and ancient, the echoes of childhood fevers long gone. And among them all, the immune system moves like a patient scholar, reading, remembering, and preparing. It doesn't just react, it anticipates. It doesn't just fight, it understands. It learns from your past to protect your future. This is why, when you fall ill for the second time, you often heal faster. Your immune system remembers the shape of the intruder, the scent of the danger. It recalls exactly which defenses worked last time and which ones didn't. It doesn't waste energy on confusion. It moves with precision. Quiet, efficient, graceful. But memory in the immune system is not cold or mechanical. It is alive, growing, changing, learning. Each new experience reshapes it, teaching it not just how to fight, but when to rest. When you recover from illness, your immune system doesn't forget what it learned. It celebrates it, not with fireworks, but with balance. It adjusts itself to prevent overreaction. It refines its tools, its messengers, its whispers. It practices peace. And like every wise guardian, it knows moderation. Too much memory, too much vigilance, and it can become confused, seeing danger where none exists. Too little, and it becomes forgetful, leaving the gates unguarded. So it dances on the fine line of balance, never too much, never too little. Your immune system remembers even the safe things, the scent of your food, the breath of your own cells, the familiar rhythm of your life. It learns not to react to what belongs. This, too, is wisdom, the ability to know peace as well as danger. Soft tone, somewhere deep in your lymph nodes, a single memory cell divides, creating two perfect copies of itself, each one carrying the same record of an old battle. They drift into the bloodstream, finding their places among billions of others, ready, patient, eternal. They may wait years before they are needed again. They do not sleep. They simply exist, quiet, loyal, aware. Your immune system's memory is not just chemical, it's emotional too. When you are calm, its signals are soft and measured. When you are stressed, its messages grow louder, as if worried, alert, uncertain. That is why rest, joy, and kindness to yourself make your immune system stronger. Peace feeds its wisdom. Calm nurtures its memory. Every laugh you've ever had, every moment of gratitude echoes through your cells. They feel it. They respond. The whisper network grows softer, the patrol more harmonious, the healers more precise. Your body remembers safety too, not just fear, not just illness, but the feeling of peace. Think of how remarkable that is, to be made of memory, to be built from the lessons of both pain and peace. You are not the same body you were a year ago or even yesterday. Every night, as your immune system continues its vigil, it rewrites your story, updating old memories, strengthening what matters, letting go of what does not. And so while you sleep, your body is not just healing, it is learning. Every cell, every signal, every whisper adds to the quiet intelligence that is you. You are not a passive dreamer tonight. You are a living archive, a breathing chronicle of survival. Your immune system holds within it the map of your entire history, from the smallest scratch that ever stung your skin to the deepest breath you ever took. It knows the story of every recovery. It remembers every victory, and in this remembering it finds peace. The night stretches deeper, and in the silence between heartbeats, something sacred stirs within you. Your immune system, that quiet guardian, has completed its rounds, shared its whispers, recorded its memories. Yet even now it does not rest, for there is no true sleep in the language of life. Only rhythm, only flow, only the eternal watch, a gentle cycle that never ends. While your thoughts drift beyond the edge of waking, your immune system continues its silent meditation. It breathes when you breathe. It slows when you slow. It adjusts its rhythm to match the stillness of your dreams. Inside you, the watchers remain at their posts. T cells stand along the walls of your blood vessels, their surfaces glowing faintly with chemical light. Macrophages glide through tissues, quietly sweeping the remnants of the day. Natural killer cells hum softly as they patrol, not in hostility, but in awareness. Every moment, every breath, your inner world turns like a galaxy. Cells orbit in harmony, signals cross the void like shooting stars. All of it. The whispers, the patrols, the healers, the memory, woven into one continuous act of love. Your immune system is not just a defense. It is devotion made cellular. It is the expression of life's most ancient promise, to protect, to preserve, to endure. Even now, while you sleep, it feels the world beyond your skin. It listens to the temperature of the air, the stillness of your room, the softness of your pulse. It takes in every detail, not as a soldier, but as a caretaker. When the wind changes, it adapts. When the light shifts, it recalibrates. When you wake, it rises with you, never behind, never ahead, always in rhythm. If you could see it now, you'd see light. Millions of tiny sparks flickering within, a constellation of protection spanning the infinite landscape of your body. Each spark alive with purpose, each one part of a pattern that keeps you whole. Your immune system does not know time. It does not know fatigue. It only knows the flow of existence, the endless balance between order and change, rest and renewal, silence and song. It is the quiet hand that guides your healing, the invisible rhythm beneath your heartbeat. And though you will never see it, you are never apart from it. It began with you, in the earliest moments of your life, when your first cells divided under your mother's heartbeat, and it will remain with you until your final breath, faithful, constant, a companion of every moment in between. The immune system is life's way of saying, I remember you, I protect you, I am you. Outside, dawn begins to approach, a pale shimmer at the edge of the horizon. But your body does not rush to meet it. It moves at its own pace, finishing the final motions of the night's renewal. Your cells hum in soft satisfaction. The patrols slow their pace. The whisper network dims to a soft murmur. Balance has been restored again. You are not fragile. You are not alone. Within you an entire universe keeps watch, tireless, eternal. A guardian made of your own light. There is a secret world inside you, a universe that never raises its voice. No shouting, no chaos, no noise, only whispers. These are the voices of your cells, the smallest citizens of your body. They don't speak in words or thoughts, but in signals, tiny electric pulses and waves of chemistry that travel farther than sound could ever reach. Every second of your life, trillions of messages move through you. Messages of balance, warning, peace, and love. Your immune system listens to each one, interprets, responds, and restores. Inside you there is no silence, only the softest language imaginable. A conversation older than the stars, spoken by the cells that keep you alive. Imagine standing in a vast, moonlit meadow. Every blade of grass moves with the wind. Separate, yet connected, each one responding to the same unseen rhythm. That's how your cells communicate. A ripple in one place becomes a wave that touches everything. When one immune cell senses a disturbance, a wound, a germ, a threat, it doesn't panic. It sends a quiet signal, a chemical whisper that says, "I've seen something." That whisper travels outward, and others respond, each passing the message along like lanterns lighting one by one in the dark. These messengers are molecules, cytokines, chemokines, interleukins, each one carrying a specific tone of meaning. One says, "Stay calm." Another says, "Help is needed here." Another says, "Begin healing." They are the words of your inner language, the secret poetry of your biology. When you cut your skin, your body doesn't scream, it whispers. Damaged cells release signals that drift like smoke. Nearby immune cells sense them, gathering quietly, moving toward the wound. They bring friends, more healers, more caretakers. And soon, an entire community arrives. Not in panic, but in purpose. Macrophages glide in first. The great listeners. They absorb the signals, interpret the meaning, and decide how to respond. If danger is real, they summon reinforcements. If not, they send a message of calm. Stand down. All is well. Even when you feel nothing, this entire network is talking. Cells in your blood, in your gut, in your lungs, passing secrets back and forth, keeping the balance of your life. When you're stressed, your hormones shift. Your immune system hears it. It adjusts. When you laugh, your chemistry changes again. Your cells feel that too, and whisper words of ease to one another. Your body is not a battlefield. It's a choir. Every note matters. Every whisper adds to the song of balance. And though we call it communication, it's more like intuition. A feeling shared across countless living beings. They don't debate. They respond. They know. Imagine if you could shrink small enough to walk among them. You'd see white blood cells drifting through plasma like monks walking through candlelit halls. Their surfaces shimmer, tiny receptors scanning for messages in the chemical air. One cell sends out a faint pulse, a cytokine signal carried on invisible currents. Another cell feels it, responds with its own signal. Soon a web of dialogue lights up across the body, not with words, but with harmony. Some of these messages travel only micrometers, whispering from one neighbor to another. Others travel through blood, crossing the entire body in minutes, like a message in a bottle carried by the tide. And yet, it's never random. Every whisper knows where it's going. Every signal has a purpose. It's communication without confusion, a dance of molecules moving with perfect timing. You might wonder, how can such tiny things know so much? How can a cell decide what to do when it doesn't think, doesn't reason, doesn't feel? The answer is simple and profound. Your body itself is awareness. Each cell is a spark of that awareness. They respond not to orders, but to connection, to the harmony they're born from. This is why even a single cell, separated from the rest of the body, still knows how to survive. It eats, it grows, It repairs itself. It remembers the language of life. Now imagine trillions of them, all speaking this same quiet dialect, coordinating every heartbeat, every breath, every repair you never notice. That is the whispering intelligence of your immune system. At night, when you rest, this communication becomes even more peaceful. Your brain releases melatonin, and your immune system adjusts its tone. Quieter, slower, gentler. The signals shift from defense to healing, from alertness to restoration. It is as if your body switches from the language of day to the language of dreams. Neutrophils, the first responders, step back. Macrophages move forward with care. Regulatory T cells walk softly among them, ensuring no voice grows too loud. No signal becomes chaos. Each whisper, each molecule, adds to the music of the night. Through these whispers, your immune system achieves something remarkable. It brings balance without thought, order without control, peace without pause. The secret isn't power. It's harmony. Each signal is shaped perfectly, not too strong, not too weak. A single extra molecule could cause confusion. A missing one could leave an opening for illness. But somehow, the cells get it right. They don't need a leader. They are the leadership. They are the wisdom of life made flesh. The whispers reach every corner. Bones, lungs, liver, heart. In each place, the same language is spoken, yet with local accents, slightly different, tailored for each environment. The heart's immune cells beat in rhythm with your pulse. The lungs' defenders move with the flow of air. In the skin, whispers pass through touch, signals of warmth, cold, or pain translated into cellular music. Everywhere, the same message repeats in 1,000 variations. Stay alive, stay balanced, stay whole. The body never stops listening. The whispers never stop flowing. They are the heartbeat beneath the heartbeat, the quiet conversation of existence itself. So as you breathe, and the first golden hints of morning touch your skin, know that even now, your immune system continues its sacred duty, quietly, endlessly, turning every second of your life into an act of care. The whispers continue. You may be asleep now, but your cells are wide awake, their voices rising and falling in perfect harmony, an invisible song only your body can hear. In the stillness of your bloodstream, each cell becomes both listener and speaker. They pass signals like secret notes across the corridors of your veins. A single molecule of communication can change everything. It can call for help or call for calm. Cytokines move through you like wind through a forest, rustling every leaf, touching every root. And though you cannot hear them, your entire being listens. Each whisper is a decision made in silence. Each signal a promise to keep you whole. When danger passes, your immune system speaks the language of relief. Cells that were once tense now send signals of peace. Stand down, they say, their tone gentle, their purpose complete. Inflammation fades like a storm leaving a quiet shore. Healing begins, and the whispers soften into something almost sacred. A chorus of gratitude between living things. In the marrow of your bones, new voices are being born. Stem cells divide slowly, each one taking on a new identity, learning the words of the body it will serve. They study the signals flowing through the blood, learning how to say, repair, how to say, protect, how to say, rest. Each one learns the rhythm of communication, the cadence of calm. They are like young musicians learning to join an orchestra that has been playing since before they existed. The older cells guide them, not through speech, but through example. Every molecule exchanged between them is a lesson, a reminder, a gentle transfer of memory. This is how your body keeps its wisdom, not in your mind, but in its chemistry. Knowledge isn't just thought. It's signal, it's flow, it's vibration. Even after the oldest cells die, their whispers remain. Echoes that teach the new generation what to do, when to speak, when to stay silent. It's a system that never sleeps, never forgets, and never stops learning. At times, this whisper network can sound like a storm. Millions of signals crossing paths, calling out, responding, fading, returning. But somehow the chaos never becomes confusion. The immune system listens carefully, sorting, balancing, understanding every nuance. When you feel tired, your cells know. They hear the hormones of exhaustion, the slight drop in oxygen, the slower pace of your heart, and they respond by whispering to one another, conserve, heal, wait. When you eat, your gut cells join the conversation. They greet the nutrients you've given them and tell your immune system what's arrived. It's a peaceful dialogue, a ceremony of recognition and trust. Sometimes a misunderstanding happens, a signal too strong, a whisper mistaken for a cry. The immune system, ever alert, may respond too quickly, and for a moment harmony wavers. But then the regulators, those calm, patient cells of balance, step forward. They release their own molecules of reassurance. They touch their neighbors with invisible hands, and the storm quiets again. Your body forgives its own mistakes. It knows how to find balance again. This forgiveness, this return to calm, is built into your biology. The more scientists learn about this system, the more it resembles an ecosystem, a rainforest of communication where everything depends on everything else. Every molecule has meaning. Every pause in the whisper carries purpose. Nothing is wasted. And you, the being that houses this living network, are both the listener and the listened to. Your thoughts, your emotions, your breath, they all send signals too. When you breathe slowly, your vagus nerve hums a note of peace through your body. Your immune cells hear it instantly. They respond by softening their tone, reducing inflammation, slowing their work, restoring calm. When you worry, the tone changes again, sharp, erratic, restless. Your immune system listens and adjusts, not out of fear, but out of loyalty. It follows your rhythm, no matter what it is. You are never separate from it. The whispers of your cells are the language of your soul. They echo your every mood, mirror your every breath. When you love, they expand. When you rest, they sing. When you sleep, they pray, not in words, but in quiet chemistry. Think of the last time you healed. A scrape on your hand, a bruise, a cold that faded overnight. You didn't have to command it. It happened because millions of tiny voices worked together, communicating, learning, cooperating, as they always have. Every whisper said, close the wound, rebuild the skin, remember this. And when the work was done, another whisper followed. Peace now. This is what it means to be alive, to be in constant, quiet communication with yourself, to host a conversation that never ends and yet never demands attention. Your immune system is a poet of silence. Its language is balance. Its tone is tenderness. Inside you, every cell is both a messenger and a listener. There are no walls, no hierarchy, no shouting orders, only cooperation. Even now, as you lie here breathing, thinking, listening to this story, the conversation continues. Cells exchange glances in the dark. Molecules drift from one tissue to another. tiny ripples of meaning travel through your blood. You are the ocean in which they move. Sometimes the signals slow, becoming little more than a murmur, the body's way of resting in trust. Other times they surge, alive with the electricity of alertness. But always the communication continues. You are not a single being, but a community, a chorus of voices working as one. You are made of whispers, each one devoted to keeping you whole, each one shaped by the quiet wisdom of connection. So tonight, as your mind softens into stillness, listen closely. There is a story being told beneath your heartbeat, a story of whispers, of harmony, of life that never sleeps. It is the voice of your immune system, and it is speaking now. The whispers continue. You may be asleep now, but your cells are wide awake, their voices rising and falling in perfect harmony, an invisible song only your body can hear. In the stillness of your bloodstream, each cell becomes both listener and speaker. They pass signals like secret notes across the corridors of your veins. A single molecule of communication can change everything. It can call for help or call for calm. Cytokines move through you like wind through a forest, rustling every leaf, touching every root. And though you cannot hear them, your entire being listens. Each whisper is a decision made in silence, each signal a promise to keep you whole. When danger passes, your immune system speaks the language of relief. Cells that were once tense now send signals of peace. Stand down. They say, their tone gentle, their purpose complete. Inflammation fades like a storm leaving a quiet shore. Healing begins, and the whispers soften into something almost sacred, a chorus of gratitude between living things. In the marrow of your bones, new voices are being born. Stem cells divide slowly, each one taking on a new identity, learning the words of the body it will serve. They study the signals flowing through the blood, learning how to say, repair, how to say, protect, how to say, rest. Each one learns the rhythm of communication, the cadence of calm. They are like young musicians learning to join an orchestra that has been playing since before they existed. The older cells guide them, not through speech, but through example. Every molecule exchange between them is a lesson, a reminder, a gentle transfer of memory. This is how your body keeps its wisdom. Not in your mind, but in its chemistry. Knowledge isn't just thought, it's signal, it's flow, it's vibration. Even after the oldest cells die, their whispers remain, echoes that teach the new generation what to do, when to speak, when to stay silent. It's a system that never sleeps, never forgets, and never stops learning. At times, this whisper network can sound like a storm. Millions of signals crossing paths, calling out, responding, fading, returning. But somehow, the chaos never becomes confusion. The immune system listens carefully, sorting, balancing, understanding every nuance. When you feel tired, your cells know. They hear the hormones of exhaustion, the slight drop in oxygen, the slower pace of your heart, and they respond by whispering to one another, conserve, heal, wait. When you eat, your gut cells join the conversation. They greet the nutrients you've given them and tell your immune system what's arrived. It's a peaceful dialogue, a ceremony of recognition and trust. Sometimes, a misunderstanding happens. A signal too strong, a whisper mistaken for a cry. The immune system, ever alert, may respond too quickly, and for a moment harmony wavers. But then the regulators, those calm, patient cells of balance, step forward. They release their own molecules of reassurance. They touch their neighbors with invisible hands, and the storm quiets again. Your body forgives its own mistakes. It knows how to find balance again. This forgiveness, this return to calm, is built into your biology. The more scientists learn about this system, the more it resembles an ecosystem, a rainforest of communication where everything depends on everything else. Every molecule has meaning. Every pause in the whisper carries purpose. Nothing is wasted. And you, the being that houses this living network, are both the listener and the listened to. Your thoughts, your emotions, your breath, they all send signals too. When you breathe slowly, your vagus nerve hums a note of peace through your body. Your immune cells hear it instantly. They respond by softening their tone, reducing inflammation, slowing their work, restoring calm. When you worry, the tone changes again, sharp, erratic, restless. Your immune system listens and adjusts, not out of fear, but out of loyalty. It follows your rhythm no matter what it is. You are never separate from it. The whispers of your cells are the language of your soul. They echo your every mood, mirror your every breath. When you love, they expand. When you rest, they sing. When you sleep, they pray, not in words, but in quiet chemistry. Think of the last time you healed. A scrape on your hand, a bruise, a cold that faded overnight. You didn't have to command it. It happened because millions of tiny voices worked together, communicating, learning, cooperating, as they always have. Every whisper said, "Close the wound, rebuild the skin." Remember this. And when the work was done, another whisper followed, "Peace now." This is what it means to be alive, to be in constant, quiet communication with yourself, to host a conversation that never ends and yet never demands attention. Your immune system is a poet of silence. Its language is balance. Its tone is tenderness. Inside you, every cell is both a messenger and a listener. There are no walls, no hierarchy, no shouting orders, only cooperation. Even now, as you lie here, breathing, thinking, listening to this story, the conversation continues. Cells exchange glances in the dark. Molecules drift from one tissue to another. Tiny ripples of meaning travel through your blood. You are the ocean in which they move. Sometimes the signals slow, becoming little more than a murmur, the body's way of resting in trust. Other times they surge, alive with the electricity of alertness. But always the communication continues. You are not a single being, but a community, a chorus of voices working as one. You are made of whispers, each one devoted to keeping you whole, each one shaped by the quiet wisdom of connection. So tonight, as your mind softens into stillness, listen closely. There is a story being told beneath your heartbeat, a story of whispers, of harmony, of life that never sleeps. It is the voice of your immune system, and it is speaking now. Somewhere inside you, far beneath thought and breath, there lives a memory older than language, a memory of being well. It is not written in your mind, it is written in your cells. Every heartbeat, every inhale, every moment your body ever found peace, it remembers. This is the memory of wellness, the quiet knowledge your body carries, guiding it back to balance no matter how far you wander. During the day you forget. You chase light, noise, effort. You push your muscles, stretch your thoughts, spill your energy into motion. But the body remembers the stillness between the storms. When night comes, it returns to that place. Deep inside, in the calm waters of your bloodstream, tiny messengers drift. They are not at war, they are remembering. They carry with them the story of every recovery you have ever known, every fever that broke, every wound that closed, every breath you once struggled to take and now breathe effortlessly. Each is stored like a chapter in the hidden library of your immune system. When illness comes, your body does not panic. It opens those books. It flips through pages of experience, reading the patterns of healing written long ago. It knows which response will bring calm. It knows what balance feels like. That is the miracle of memory, the immune memory that holds the blueprint of wellness itself. Some of these memories live in cells called memory B cells and T cells. Quiet scholars waiting in the dark. They are patient. They can wait decades, sleeping in the marrow of your bones, until the familiar scent of danger returns. Then they wake, not startled, not afraid, but ready. They remember the pathway back to health. Your immune system never forgets a lesson well learned. It recalls every victory, large or small. Each infection defeated leaves behind a note. Here's how we healed last time. And even the losses teach. They refine the system, shaping new cells, stronger, wiser, more gentle in their defense. It's easy to think of the body as something that only reacts, but it also reflects. It remembers wellness like a song it can hum in its sleep. Every night, while you dream, it rehearses that melody, quietly tuning every note. Inside your lymph nodes, tiny councils form. Cells share stories of the day. One tells another of a small injury repaired, another of a germ defeated before it ever found a home. They exchange these memories like friends sharing old photographs. And then they store them away for tomorrow. Wellness is not a mystery to your body. It has known it since the beginning of you. Even as an infant, your first cry was the sound of awakening immunity. From that moment, every encounter, every touch of the world became a lesson. By now, your body is a library of recovery. It contains millions of tiny books written in molecules and memories. When you rest at night, these books are opened. Your immune cells read their own history, and in doing so, they remind the entire body what peace feels like. A cell that remembers healing will always find its way home. That is why recovery is never a new experience. It is a return. Your body is returning to its original state of balance. It has done this 1,000 times before. Every heartbeat is a note from that ancient song. Every breath a memory of life continuing. Even in pain, the body is searching for rhythm again, following the echo of wellness through the dark. In the quiet of sleep, the immune system trains its young. New cells are taught old lessons. Elders show them how to recognize peace as well as threat. Because to protect you fully, the body must know both. When it sees something that belongs to you, your cells, your proteins, your energy, it whispers, "This is home." When it sees what doesn't belong, it whispers back, "Not here." And in those whispers, it keeps you safe. This dance between recognition and remembrance is the core of immunity. To know what to protect, one must remember what peace feels like. Science calls it immune tolerance, the art of not attacking what is already part of you. It is your body's gentlest form of wisdom. It reminds the cells, this is not the enemy, this is the self. Every night, your immune system rehearses this lesson, polishing its understanding, sharpening its awareness without violence. In a way, your body is a monk of its own temple, reciting mantras of well-being through molecules and memory. The antibodies that float in your blood are not weapons. They are reminders, each one a tiny echo of something your body has already overcome. Every morning you wake is proof that your body remembered its way back to health while you slept. The aches that fade, the cuts that close, the breaths that ease, they are not coincidences. They are chapters reread by your immune cells, each one saying, "We have been here before." Sometimes when you fall ill, it is because your body is relearning something it once knew. It is reviewing the lesson, strengthening its grip on wellness. Illness is not the absence of health. It is the process of remembering how to be well again. In the darkness of night, your cells whisper to one another their plans for morning. Repair this tissue. Strengthen that barrier. Teach the new cells the old ways. The ritual continues, centuries old and always new. This is why sleep is sacred. It is the time when the memory of wellness is restored, when your immune system revisits its archives and reminds itself what balance feels like. Inside your thymus, a small organ behind your sternum, T cells graduate from training. They are tested, shown fragments of your own self, and taught to recognize them as friends. Only those who remember correctly are allowed to serve. It is a school of recognition, where the lessons are compassion and precision. The body's memory is not linear. It doesn't keep time as you do. It keeps experience. When you touch something cold, your nerves recall winter. When you smell the sea, your lungs remember oxygen's first kiss. And when you rest, your immune system remembers wellness, not as a concept, but as a sensation. It is the soft warmth behind your sternum, the ease in your breath, the quiet hum in your veins. That is what your cells are trying to recreate every moment of your life. Wellness is not a destination you reach once and for all. It is a memory your body keeps revisiting, restoring, relearning. Even when you are tired, even when you are hurting, that memory still exists. It waits for the silence of sleep to be heard again. Your immune system is the keeper of this memory, but it is also a storyteller. It passes the story forward from cell to cell, from moment to moment. Each time you heal, the story grows richer. Each time you rest, the memory is retold. If you listen closely, you might feel it now. That subtle hum beneath your skin, the whisper of life remembering itself. It is the sound of a body that knows the way home. And as you breathe, each inhale feeds that memory. Each exhale releases what no longer serves. Your cells notice this rhythm. They mirror it. They learn from it. In time, your body will begin to recognize this peace faster and faster. The way a muscle remembers a movement, the way a heart remembers love. You are not fragile. You are learned. Every moment of wellness you have ever known still lives within you. Your immune system is the archive of that truth, guarding it quietly, night after night. When you wake in the morning feeling a little stronger, a little lighter, it is because the body has read its own story. It remembers that it was never broken, only learning. And as you sink deeper into rest tonight, the memory of wellness moves through you again, reconnecting every cell to its oldest truth. You were made to heal, and you always know the way back to balance. Balance of the oldest law of nature. It governs oceans and storms, forests and firelight, hearts and cells. And inside you, that same law unfolds quietly, through the wisdom of your immune system. For the immune system is not a warrior alone. It is a gardener, a keeper of harmony. It knows that life cannot exist without both creation and calm, both defense and rest. When you close your eyes at night, your body does not fight, it balances. Every breath becomes a gentle negotiation between what must stay and what must go, between what must grow and what must fade. The immune system listens to these tides. When the day floods you with movement, it holds steady. When night draws everything inward, it softens. It shifts its chemistry like the seasons turning, never rushing, never stalling. Within you, equilibrium is not stillness. It is motion without chaos, rhythm without strain. Cells rise and fall like waves, born, working, resting, renewing. The balance of your immunity is their dance. Imagine a forest at sunrise, dew gathering on leaves, mist curling through the trees. Predators and prey wake together, each knowing their place. That same agreement lives in your blood. Immune cells move through you like creatures of that forest, alert but peaceful, strong but merciful. When a foreign cell appears, they do not attack in rage. They approach with questions, testing, measuring, listening. Do you belong here? They ask. And if the answer is no, they act swiftly but cleanly, restoring the border without destroying the land. That is the true nature of immunity, not violence, but clarity. Your body survives because it understands the difference between defense and destruction. There is a moment after every battle when the immune system calls for peace. Cells that fought stand down. Messengers release signals of calm. Cytokines shift from fire to water, from heat to cool. It is the body's truce, its way of saying, we have done enough for now. Without that balance, healing would never arrive. A body that only fought would burn itself to ash. A body that never fought would fade to dust. But between those extremes lies the perfect line, the delicate edge of homeostasis, where your immune system walks every moment of your life. Think of your temperature, so precisely held between fever and freeze. Think of your blood, its pH, its salt, its flow, all kept within fractions of perfection. The immune system is the silent mathematician behind those numbers. It adjusts without thought, balancing the invisible equations of life. In the daytime, your immune cells are curious, busy, social. They patrol with confidence, meeting the world head-on. At night, they turn inward, reflective. They slow their work, repair the bridges they crossed by day. The body is a planet with its own sun and moon, its own tidal cycles of defense and restoration. Stress tilts this balance. The chemistry of fear is a wind that bends your internal trees. Cortisol rises, inflammation flares, and the immune system listens anxiously for meaning. Too long in that storm and the forest begins to dry. Healing slows, memory fades. The body forgets its gentler rhythm. But peace is never lost. One deep breath, one moment of stillness, and the balance returns. Your cells hear that signal immediately. They soften their edges, lower their voices, and the forest of your body becomes green again. You can feel it sometimes. A subtle warmth spreading through you after you laugh, after you cry, after you forgive. That is your immune system realigning, finding its center through emotion, through breath, through trust. Science calls this the mind-body connection. But your cells knew it long before science gave it a name. They have always listened to your feelings as faithfully as they listen to your genes. When you feel safe, the signals they send are soft and steady. When you feel threatened, they brighten and sharpen. Ready but not afraid, they mirror your state of mind, translating emotion into immunity. This is why balance is not just physical. It is emotional, spiritual, energetic. A calm mind gives birth to a calm body. A grateful heart gives strength to your cells. Every thought you release into yourself becomes part of the language your immune system hears. When you walk in nature, you are teaching your immune system its own origin story. The smell of soil, the pattern of leaves, the sound of rain, they remind your cells how balance feels, because they too evolved under the open sky. Every breath of forest air carries microbes that speak the language of life. When they reach your lungs, your immune system greets them like old friends. It does not attack, it listens. It strengthens through the conversation. Balance is not about purity. It is about relationship. Your immune system does not seek a sterile world. It thrives in diversity. Each encounter with the outside teaches it something new about harmony. Within you, billions of microbes live in peaceful cooperation. They digest your food, train your immune cells, and guard your gut's delicate lining. If they fall out of balance, inflammation rises. A reminder that harmony requires community. So the immune system works not as a soldier but as a mediator, a peacemaker between you and the living world. It knows that to exist is to be in constant conversation with everything else. Sometimes it leans too far toward protection, and you feel the heat of inflammation. Sometimes it leans too far toward tolerance, and infections sneak through. But the body is forgiving. Each swing teaches the immune system how to return to center a little faster, a little wiser. Balance is not perfection. It is motion. It is the sway of a tree that bends and never breaks. It is the ebb and flow of tides that never cease. Your immune system is made of that same grace. Even your heartbeat is a duet of opposites. Contraction and release, action and surrender. The immune system mirrors that song, learning from the rhythm of your heart how to balance its own. In moments of stillness, your body leans toward repair. In moments of motion, it leans toward readiness. Neither is better, both are necessary. The secret is in the transition. How gently one becomes the other. When you sleep, inflammation drops and healing rises. When you wake, the reverse occurs. Every 24 hours, your immune system completes a cycle of balance older than the moon. Even the sunlight that touches your skin is part of this conversation. It creates vitamin D, a molecule that helps your immune cells see clearly. Not too harshly, not too dimly, too little light, and they become confused. Too much and they burn. So your body learns again to walk that line of balance between shadow and sun. In truth, you are never apart from nature. You are a mirror of it. Your immune system is the weather within you. Storms that cleanse, breezes that heal, seasons that teach patience. When the storm rages, remember, it will pass. When the sky is clear, remember, it was earned. The body needs both rain and sun to grow. Some cells are born for intensity. The fighters, the rapid responders. Others are born for rest. The healers, the caretakers. They take turns under your skin like day and night sharing the same sky. Balance also lives in the mind. When you forgive, the immune system lowers its guard. When you feel gratitude, your body releases endorphins that cool the fires of inflammation. Even a single moment of awe, a sunset, a child's laughter, the sound of rain, can retune your cells to the frequency of peace. This is how nature teaches you, through contrast, through cycle, through renewal. Your immune system is not fighting nature, it is part of it. It knows how to bow to the storm and stand after it passes. Inside you, there is no absolute light or dark, only shades that shift and balance. Cells that rise and fall, signals that strengthen and soften, molecules that speak and then rest, all of them part of the same conversation, the conversation of life seeking equilibrium. As you listen now, your body is already balancing. Your breath slows, your nervous system calms, and the immune cells sense that peace. They mirror it, their signals growing steady and clear. This is the real alchemy of health, the translation of stillness into healing. You do not need to command it. You only need to allow it, because balance is not something you build. It is something you remember. It was written into your cells long before you were born. The same law that keeps planets in orbit keeps your immune system in harmony. So breathe, deep, slow, grateful. Let your body sway back into its center. Let your cells feel that movement and answer with their own quiet music. Somewhere beneath your ribs, a macrophage cleans away a cell that has served its time. Somewhere beneath your skin, a T cell recognizes peace and chooses not to fight. Somewhere in your blood, a signal of calm spreads like light through water. This is balance, alive, breathing, beautiful. The forest of your body breathes in sync with the forest outside. The moon pulls at your cells as it pulls at the tides. The stars overhead are reflected in the microscopic glow within you. Everything is connected through balance. And your immune system, patient and eternal, stands at the center of it all, not as a fighter, but as a listener. It hears the language of your thoughts, the rhythm of your breath, the music of the earth, and translates them into life. It knows when to rise and when to rest, when to guard and when to let go. It is the living embodiment of nature's balance, carried quietly in your veins, holding you between the worlds of motion and stillness, protection and peace. So tonight, as you drift deeper, remember this: inside you is a guardian that never stops caring for you. A silent symphony that hums in harmony with your heartbeat. Let it work, let yourself rest, and let the calm secrets of your immune system carry you into dreams.